Hi, this is Denise Matthew. I hope you're doing well. I'm back again to talk about the new moon eclipse that's happening on April 20th, 2023. This is going to be happening at 29 degrees Aries. So it is a powerful point that we're going to be having the eclipse on, which means that it might be a lot more impactful than normal because this is considered a critical degree. Or it's almost like a tipping point where things start to change. And I think that the whole eclipse in general is showing us that changes in the offing and that we are really pushing forward on something new. So based on what I see, this seems to be a very impactful eclipse. And I think that there's maybe potential for a before and after. So a lot of things are going to start to shift in the future. The one key thing that really seems to set this off as something brand new or something really different from what we've been experiencing for a while is that the Earth is going to be in the gate 50 line 4 and the sun and moon are going to be in the gate 3 line 4. So it's also bringing a lot of definition, but when we look at the gate 50, it is tribal energy, and it is about values and the laws that we govern our lives with, and the laws that we have in a society as a whole that keep things in order. So when we get to the fourth line, this is called corruption, which is pretty impactful when you look at the big wide world around us. And when we think of corruption, most times we'll think of something that's actually negative, bad, corrupt people, corrupt governments, corrupt things, anything like that. Now, I'm not saying that those themes are not potential or part of the energy that we might see in the eclipse or, within the 6 months afterwards, because that's how long the energy can be in play. But there is another side to this so-called corruption. If we look at the other side is what do we need to change that no longer serves the collective? What rules, laws, values need some sort of an upgrade because they no longer work for where we are in this present moment in life? And that can be personal, it can be global, it can be in all kinds of ways that it can express in so many different ways. But yes, we might see corruption as a theme where things are starting to come to the light. So we see more about those types of things that we had maybe known about, but maybe didn't get to the point of really seeing it as big as it is. The other perspective is the gate 50 is always going to be opposite to the gate 3. So we know that the gate 3 is the way to get into the tribe. When we bring in the concept of the global cycle or the background frequency that's been in place since probably, I think it's about 1615, that's a cross of planning. And this is the cross that we are moving away as we get closer to 2027, because that will bring in the crosses of the sleeping phoenix, which is a brand new type of energy. It's individual energy. There is no collective energy. There's only a bit of tribal energy, but mostly individual energy. And it's shifting the focus. That's mutative energy. But now, as we move forward towards that, we are still a few years out, we're starting to see the decoupling or the breaking down of the partnerships that have held this global cycle together. When we bring in the gate 50 line 4, this is really saying, how can we bring a mutative energy to the people, to the collective, to our lives, so that we can keep up with the changes that are coming, so that we can be prepared for the future. The future is about mutation. The future is about shifts and changes. And I think 2024 is where it's going to really start to activate these energies. But I think that this is really a catalyst, this energy of the new moon eclipse. It's a new moon. It's an eclipse that's showing us, okay, we are changing, we are shifting. What I think is most impactful about this, I mean, there's a lot of things about this eclipse that I think are impactful. There's a ton of definition. There's 4 different centers that are defined. We add in the fourth and fifth lines. Now we move back to the gate 50. The gate 50 is the source of all intelligence. In other words, this is how we learn as human beings, as in life in general. Everything comes from the spleen. Then now this type of learning is a splenic learning, which means it's about survival. It is not about living a life like your daily life. This is about what do you do to protect yourself so that you are safe, secure, and everything is going to be fine. So we have all this intelligence that's showing us, okay, this is what we need to do so that we are secure, we are safe, we're taking care of us. And that's ultimately what it's saying. The other perspective is we have the line 4. If we look at the 50 line 4, this is corruption, as I talked about, and it is corruption for the greater good, potentially. But of course, there's always duality. And we'll see how that plays out. But this is shifting something, an old rule or an old value that you had that no longer serves you, that you're tired of, that you're ready for an upgrade, you're ready for something new. And we look at the perspective of how the fifth line plays out. Everybody's fifth line is called genetic continuity. We have these themes that play out in every line in our body graph. And in the future, I hope to sort of expand on the lines a little bit more so you can get a little deeper into your own perspective of your body graph and the lines that are in it. But when we get to the fifth line, which we have a lot within this eclipse, this is a taste for discipline or rebellion. So this is really saying, are we going to stay with the status quo, or are we going to change? Are we going to move forward? The fourth line is about, again, this corruption of letting go of something that no longer serves. We change the program because we need a better program. And the fifth line says, okay, we see that we need change. And what patterns do we need to break in our lives? What patterns are you involved in your life? What are things that you're doing day in, day out that are not serving you anymore? This is an eclipse that's saying, okay, this is a new energy bringing in change that you have an opportunity to move into if you desire. And I think that is one of the most impactful parts of this. And remember, if we look at this as a global cycle shift, you see that the fourth and fifth lines are just before the sixth line, which will be a 6-line theme. This is one more way that things are all connecting and showing us an interesting path forward. And yes, it probably will be shaking and shifting, and you may not see everything in the moment, but slowly everything will unfold in a way where you're starting to see the pattern and you're starting to see things crumble, and the way things are is no longer suitable. This is truly the new change and the change that people are talking about that they feel coming. And I feel like this is sort of, as I said, a catalyst that is pointing a finger at saying, okay, this is where we're moving, and you have an opportunity to start to move forward. Uranus has been showing us that change in a direction. It's been saying, okay, I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff. It's been working in the gate 2 for a long time. In 2022, it worked a lot of time in the gate 2. And now again, it's still in the gate 2, but it's finishing here. It's almost done. So when we look at Uranus, and in human design, Uranus is called the sidetrack, which means that it takes us off a path, shows us things that we may not have seen had we stayed on the same path. But it doesn't take you completely off the path where you're not going forward. You're still going forward, but you're going forward sort of in an alternate way where you come off this sidetrack and you're still on the main road and you're still further ahead than you were before. So it's not taking you off the path altogether, but it's just basically showing you some ideas. And this is what it's saying. You've been shown what you need to change. You've been shown where you need to go. And now it's your choice. What are you going to do with the information that you have? This is Uranus saying, this is sort of my last message to you before I go, and I won't come back again for another 82 years. This is the last pass of Uranus within the gate 2. And when we get to May, Uranus is going to move out of the gate 2 and move into new energy. So if we break it down and look at the chart, you can see that the sun and moon are in the gate 3, line 4. This is called charisma. This is a mystical line in that it is saying that you, me, everybody, we are all gifted with something genetically inherited from our ancestors, as we all know. But not only is this genetically inspired, but it's also karmically inspired. So we're bringing this karmic shift of energy to the world, and this is being activated. So it's like that special thing inside of you that is needing to be out in the world is being activated. Now, remember, the gate 3 is difficult in the beginning. This is energy that we have to work to express. And this is what it's saying. Okay, now it's time to start expressing that authentic difference, that thing that only you know, that part of you who is here to shift the world in some way, or even shift your life. You may want to change something in your world, whatever that is. And this is saying, okay, what is it you want to change? What thing do you want to mutate? And let's work on doing that as we move forward. Again, the gate 50, we have the earth in the gate 50, line 4, corruption, which is saying changing your values, changing the things that you probably have always accepted. And now you're looking at something different and saying, okay, I can't do this anymore. It doesn't work. The model is broken. Let's move forward with something that is going to serve me better than it has before. Now, when we have the earth in the gate 50, we're getting the full 2750 channel. we could look at this channel as being the tribal channel of caring, nurturing, and nourishing our offspring or other people. It really is about caring. But if we expand on that and we look at this idea that the gate 50 is the place where all intelligence is engineered, or it all comes from that area, we see that this is really opening this awareness, this ability to see beyond the mundane, to see beyond what we normally see. So it's becoming a motorized awareness because we have it connected to the sacral center, which is just the most powerful motor of all. So it's motorizing your awareness, which means that it's activating your spleen. And even if you have an open spleen, defined spleen, it's going to activate all the specific gates that are important for you. And what it will do is potentially give you awareness about things about your life, about, the future, things that, because it's going to potentially activate any of those gates that you have defined in your spleen. So what that means is that it's a chance to really get in touch with what exactly is going on with you, is going on with your life. There also, of course, is going to be fear connected with this. And to look at this fear as it is an indicative of an awareness that is potential. So beneath the fear, if you pull back at all, you see that there is something to learn, something to know beneath it all. And that's what I think the really cool part about it is this message of we can gain awareness through this eclipse, but it's about kind of centering yourself to understand that you may be feeling emotionally charged, you may be feeling some level of anxiety or fear, but if you let that go as much as you can and realize that that is energetic, and kind of sit with what you're feeling beneath it, to really get in connection with those energies, you might have some really big epiphanies and energetic releases that can be potential with this eclipse. And of course, Jupiter is a huge player within this energy because it is in the gate 42. It is there closing doors or maximizing what already exists. So are you leveling up on something you already have, or are you closing the door completely? And if you notice, you'll see a lot of things are happening in the world around you. You might even know people. Things are closing up. They're quitting. They're letting go of a job. They're letting go of a relationship. Shows. I've seen shows that are coming to an end, and this is what we are going to see. And in the future, Mars is going to be moving into the gate 53, and that's where we're going to be starting a lot of new cycles. So this Jupiterian energy comes only every 12 years to the gate 42. So it is impactful in that it is ending cycles, beginning cycles, and it's something that is extremely impactful, even though it will be a Mercury retrograde, which I will have a video coming out about Mercury retrograde soon as well. So that's one more piece of the puzzle that is being highlighted as we go through this new moon eclipse. And then we have the other channel that we have is between the 360, which is between Pluto in the gate 60 and also the sun and the moon in the gate 3, and that's bringing a full 360 channel. And this is genetic mutation. This is changing the world again, mutative energy. We also have the 3955 activated between Saturn and Mars, which is bringing this impetus to be yourself, to express yourself the way you want to express yourself. One of the main keys with Saturn in the gate 55 right now is this idea that, we are encouraged, and I keep saying this, I know I'm a broken record, but it is always saying this idea of we're encouraged to be ourselves, to be who we are, to allow other people to see who we are, and to not hide away and try and fit in. And that is the future that we're looking at. The more authentic you are in who you are, the more likely you are to have success in your life. And the success comes from the idea that you feel happy. And when you're happy, your aura is inviting. Not only are you happy, but you're also attracting the right people in your life, which is really a win-win. I would say as we move forward into the future, being unique and authentic is like really having a chest of gold. It's going to be the currency that you can use to navigate the world, because people, they trust you because they know that you're being who you are. So if I want to kind of bring it all together for a final message, I would say that overall, this feels like a major turning point for planet Earth, where we're feeling the pressure to change and mutate, and everybody feels it in their own personal way. The universe is kind of opening the door for the collective, and it's giving us a glimpse of the future. And if you allow your personal flow to take you where you're meant to go, to allow the magnetic monopole, the Uranus in the gate 2, to direct you to your future and to direct you to your life purpose, this is an opportunity for you to really find that beautiful place of knowing and feeling that you're in the right place at the right time, and that everything you've been doing up until now has sort of been a buildup for the culmination of this moment in your life. If you are walking your truth, being inspired to be you, and not worrying about how you are received, because you know that when you're being who you are, you're going to meet the right people and have the right people in your trajectory to be you on your own terms. Now, if we look from a global perspective, I think that this is going to be, as I said, the whole theme of corruption, but really big shifts in technology, humanitarian work, or anything that we would consider new and innovative is really, I feel like, going to be amped up in the next 6 or so months. It doesn't mean it's going to, it stops after that, but it is truly kind of showing us that is a good potential. Then we're looking at the other side of it, is we're looking at our leadership and who is leading us, and who are the people that are supposedly showing us the way. We're deciding that maybe that person who had these particular things that we thought were the right thing for us to have the leadership is not actually the same anymore. And it's changed, again, this corruption of the values of what we feel is correct for us and we feel is correct for a leader. We have the activation of the spleen, we have the activation of the root, we have the activation of the sacral center, and also the emotional center, or the solar plexus. So we have a lot of energy that is active in the collective. So with all the activations of those centers, especially if you have a lot of openness and you don't have those centers defined normally, you may really feel this energy impactfully. This is a very different eclipse than I have analyzed in a very long time. So it feels quite impactful. And you see the shifts and changes. You have the power to know that you're going to be okay, because your truth is your currency, and that will get you through the day. With that said, I hope you have an amazing solar eclipse, and I will be back again soon. Until then, take care and bye for now.